everyone, it's Emma, and today I'm doing a book review, which I haven't done in a very long time, but I recently read Artemis by Andy Weir, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit. If you recognize the name Andy Weir, it's because he is the same author who wrote the book The Martian, which was also turned into a movie. I did not read the book The Martian, so I'm not sure why, but I was highly anticipating this book when it was released. As soon as I bought it, I picked it up and started reading it, and it's funny because I'm not really sure why. I don't often read adult sci-fi, I don't often read sci-fi in general. For some reason I was drawn to this one, and I'm so glad that I picked it up because I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars, but it's really like a 4.5. It's a solid 4.5. So like I said, this is an adult sci-fi book, and we follow this girl Jasmine who grew up on the moon. There's this city that has established itself on the moon. She moved there when she was a little kid, so she grew up. It is her hometown. The moon has one city named Artemis, which is where the name of the book comes from. And one of the things that I really loved over the course of the book, learning what the city Artemis was like, because it is a new city, so it's just established itself. There isn't like an official law force. There aren't a lot of laws, to be honest. Like, there's no legal drinking age. Some crimes are almost more like unspoken crimes, as in it's not particularly written that it's against the law, but everyone knows it's wrong. And if you do something that is very immoral, the people of the city are the ones who kind of like enforce that. They'll band together and like go beat up the person who did said immoral thing. If you commit like a huge crime or something that is an actual law, then you get deported back to Earth. It's not a chaotic city, which is what I liked about it. The city functions very well. It's just that it doesn't function like Earth at all. This makes for like a very close-knit kind of city. To me, it seemed like the people who lived there really cared about each other. They really cared about their city, taking good care of it and taking care of each other, which is kind of sweet for like a sci-fi living on the moon book. However, our main character, whose point of view we're following, she is one of those people who actually lives breaking the law all the time. She is a smuggler, and she's kind of like the city's best smuggler. If you need something, you go to Jazz. Jazz is also very smart, very smart, which of course is one of the things that made me love her. Throughout the whole book, people are constantly telling her that she is wasting her potential. She could have been like a scientist or a engineer, but she had some falling out with her dad, which is explained over the course of the book, that has caused her to be very much a rebel child. Like, she doesn't want to do anything to please her father. And I love that about her because she's so unapologetically the way that she is. She's so smart that she can learn basic chemistry in like half of an afternoon, and she knows how to do things like weld and build equipment. That's one of the things that I loved about Jazz. She breaks a lot of stereotypes for girls, but it didn't feel like when a girl's written from a man's point of view and it's cringy. It felt believable. She is sassy. She can drink a lot. She cusses a lot. She knows that she is beautiful and she's proud of her body. In fact, she reminded me of someone that I actually know in real life, and that just made me love her so much more. I thought she was a very believable character because she's also flawed. Jazz is very impulsive, and she kind of knows it about herself and uses it towards her genius. Over the course of the book, it flips between the current day in Jazz's point of view and these letters or emails that she's writing back and forth to this guy on Earth. She's been writing these emails to this guy on Earth since she was a kid. Like, I think it starts in middle school and then slowly catches up to the current day. Through the correspondence that she has with this guy, she explains her background. So over the course of the book, you come to understand why Jazz has the insecurities that she does, why she has the walls built up that she does. You then get to see them broken down a little bit. So you get to understand why she is the way she is, and then you get to see her progress as a character. Honestly, if I had to pick a theme, I would say that this book is like about making friends. When you have past hurts, when you have walls that you've built up, and you meet people and you have to learn to let go of that and make friends, and also save the city on the moon. A side note is that the politics of the city are really interesting. A big part of the plot kind of centers around economics and the woman who established this city, how she did it, how she has kept the upkeep of the city when there's no hard laws, and then also the future of the city and where it's headed and how they're going to keep it functioning well. I really enjoyed that part of the plot. The only negative thing that I have to say is that sometimes I couldn't really follow what was happening, in the sense of like when Jasmine was welding something or like building something, the science and the technicalness of what she was actually doing just went right over my head. I couldn't always understand exactly what was happening, but I just kind of read through it and got the gist, and I still enjoyed it a lot. It's just that the way that my mind works, I want to understand everything. I want to know all about how to weld this thing that she's doing. That's just not what was happening. There's a wide cast of characters in this book, and over the course of the whole book I came to love all of them. They kind of end up building this squad team who has to band together, and I really liked each character's introduction and like how they were brought into Jazz's life and then how they became important in the end. It all tied together very well. They were all very diverse, interesting characters. Because Jasmine, the main character, is from Saudi Arabia, there was a little bit of interest in like the fact that she does not follow the same religion as her father. You didn't get a lot on that, but it seemed like the characters were really fleshed out, and I believed that there was a lot more that could have been explored, so I liked that aspect of it. That's pretty much all I have to say about Artemis by Andy Weir. It was actually a very easy read, despite me being intimidated by adult sci-fi and sci-fi in general. I read it in like 4 sittings. I was really busy while I was reading this book. I was traveling, I was on family vacation. It still took me over a week, probably 2 weeks to finish it, but it was actually a really fun, easy read, and I highly suggest it. Not that I need to suggest it, it's on the New York Times bestsellers. You probably have heard of it before, but in case it's something that is not what you would normally pick up like it was for me, I highly suggest you go give it a try if you would like. That is the end of this review. I hope you enjoyed. Comment down below if you've read Artemis, what you thought of it, or if you've read The Martian and if you think I should read The Martian, because I keep going back and forth. Like, I loved this one. I love the movie of The Martian, but it's always hard to read the book after you've seen the movie. But if you think I should read the book, let me know down in the comments. I hope you have a lovely day or night or afternoon wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video.